I'm starting to really love the Ranger. I don't know if I'd call it my favorite D&D class yet. However, it's definitely getting up there. Now, for a little bit of background, I've played most of the D&D classes. I started off with druids and eventually got into sorcerers and paladins. However, I've also played multi-class characters of clerics, warlocks, and barbarians. It wasn't until my most recent campaign that I decided to give Ranger a try because I was getting bored of a lot of the other classes, and other classes like Monk were just too boring for me. So we started off at level 3, which allowed me to take the Beastmaster subclass. For a little bit of context, I am playing a Noble Ranger Half-Elf. We are currently level 4. However, we started off the campaign at level 3. So I'm going to give the points on why Rangers are overpowered in my opinion. In a good way, of course. There's good and bad overpowered. I would consider Barbarian to be bad overpowered. I would consider classes like Rogue, Paladin, and Ranger to be good overpowered. Rangers start off with 3 proficiencies. The most average build for a Ranger is putting 2 of those into Stealth and Animal Handling, and another one into something like Intimidation or Investigation. However, I built my Ranger a little bit weird. I put my first into Investigation, my second into Persuasion, and my third into Stealth. I'm going to be honest, Rangers are probably better at Stealth than the Rogue. I mean, I wouldn't go that far since Rogues get Sneak Attack. However, Hunter's Mark, along with playing an Archerer, which once again is the most common Ranger build, can definitely get overpowered. Hunter's Mark is a first level spell that allows you to do 1d6 force damage or an average of 3 force damage every time you hit an enemy that has been affected by the spell. This also goes for your allies. If they hit someone that has been affected by the Hunter's Mark spell, then they also get the force damage. Because of this and their versatile but limited spell list, and I really say limited, right behind Warlock they probably have the worst spell list in the game. They can be really good skill monkeys, meaning that they can get high proficiencies. If you take feats like skilled, then you can get even more, which makes them more of a skill monkey. You can also heal, do heavy damage, stealth, all that sort of stuff. Now this comes with the flaw that I just mentioned. They definitely have the worst spell list in the entire game. Warlock can get away with it because they are casting their spells at very high levels with 1 level spell slots. However, Rangers just don't really have an excuse for this. I get that they're supposed to be half-casters that can get in the action and be far back casting spells. However, they don't do this as well as classes like Paladin or even the Artificer. I know that the Artificer isn't allowed at a lot of tables, mine included. Well, until really recently that was. I kind of allow Artificers now, but I'm strict with it. Rangers are also really great for roleplay because of the way that you can do their powers into their background. Maybe they are trained by a druid, or maybe they're a druid in training, or maybe they just got their powers from being in the woods a lot. Now, I'm playing with 5th edition 2014 rules, so this is all that. Another way that Rangers are very versatile is they get one of the higher hit dices in the game. It's 1d10, or an average of 5, plus your Constitution modifier, which is an average of 0. So 5 HP per level on average isn't that bad. They have an average of 100 HP, which isn't terrible. However, they can easily get screwed if they are rolling bad on their dice. This is why I give my players an option whenever they are rolling new HP during a level up. They get to roll it twice and take the higher number, or if they don't like it, then they can stick with the average. I've heard some people try to come up with solutions for the Rangers' bad spell list, and they always say, oh, well, give them the Druid spell list. Let them pick from the Druid spell list and give them a couple cantrips. I do let my players choose out 3 Druid cantrips because they're half spellcasters. They should be getting cantrips. Both the Paladin and Artificer, which are the other 2 half-casting classes, and no, I don't count Warlock as a half-casting class because it's in its own field, it's pact magic. They both start off with cantrips, so I don't see why the Ranger wouldn't. However, a solution that I've seen a lot of people recommend is that you let them get full access to the Druid spell list. I don't like this. This can make them really overpowered. I used to plan a campaign where somehow a Ranger got access to the Druid's Wild Shape ability. For you that do not know at home, that allows you to turn into animals depending on your level. That was also really overpowered. So yeah, I don't recommend using those homebrew rules because it kind of gets rid of the entire point of a Druid. Druid are already good fighters anyways, with a high skilling entry level. Alright, now I'm going to be going over the cons of the Ranger. There's a few that I can mainly think of. First of all, the two class abilities that are unique to their class kind of sucks. Rangers are memed on and called bad a lot within the D&D community because of their favorite terrain ability and their favorite enemy ability. For you that do not know, at certain levels, I think level 1 and 2, Rangers get the ability to pick out a favorite terrain, which, they get advantages in that terrain along with a favorite enemy. They get advantages while fighting that enemy. However, a lot of times within a role-playing campaign, you're going to be moving from area to area, so you're not always going to be in your favorite terrain. And whenever it comes to favorite enemy, you're either really useful early on or not useful until later on in the campaign. Because you get, I think, levels 1, 7, and 18, which isn't terrible. However, like I said, you don't get an improvement to this skill until you're level 7. So either you can plan for higher levels, such as level 2 or 3, with your first favorite enemy, and then kind of be useless until you get to that point. However, they also gain a fighting style, which makes your ranger unique in the way that they fight. Do you want them to be two-handed fighters with 2 weapons, 2 short swords in each hand? Then you can do that. If you want them to be a gun-wielding badass, then once again, you can do that with archery. Or if you just want them to be a Robin Hood wannabe and carry a bow, you can also do that. Rangers do rely on their subclass a lot. If you just level up base ranger without taking a subclass, then you're basically shooting yourself in the foot. Currently, I have only played Beastmaster, and I have a eagle companion. Her name is Razor. And this kind of goes how your DM does familiars. If they do like the base stat block of the animal, then yeah, that can be underpowered. However, we have a variant rule where my familiar gets a pool of HP whenever I level up, so it's alright. Alright, last thing before I end this video. Rangers also have very unique and very versatile starting equipment. They can either be light armor bow fighters, or they can be martial weapon, basically knights that wear heavy armor and dual-wield weapons. Because of this, you will see a lot of stealth archers, and you will also see a bunch of people that are just straight up fighting with the barbarian on the front lines. I like how versatile they are because a lot of other classes, for example the wizard and rogue, kind of push you to the back line or hidden away from combat. Other classes like the barbarian, fighter, and even bard to some extent, and warlock, kind of are supposed to be up in the front along with the artificers. However, this hit dice, these spells, and their starting equipment kind of lets them be in the middle. They get to choose which style they get to play. So does every other class, but a wizard rushing into a battle without the help of a barbarian fighter or some other kind of tank isn't going to be that good. Alright, thanks for watching this video. Subscribe for more.